Welcome back to Stoic Wisdom TV. Let's face it, most guys are waiting for a woman to walk up and say, "Hey, I like you." Spoiler alert, that's not how it works. Women rarely lay their cards on the table, especially early on. Instead, they communicate through a language of signals, gestures, glances, and subtle moves that fly under the radar unless you know what to look for. If you're sitting around waiting for her to spell it out, you're missing the game entirely. The truth is, attraction isn't shouted, it's whispered. And those whispers, they're loaded with meaning if you learn to listen. Science backs this up. Social psychology studies, like those by researchers such as Albert Mehrabian, show that up to 80% of human communication is nonverbal. That means by the time a woman says she's into you, she's likely been showing it for weeks, maybe months, through her actions. The problem is, most men don't know how to read these signs. They overlook the cues, second-guess themselves, and let opportunities slip through their fingers. But here's the good news. Once you understand these signals, you'll see them everywhere. In this essay, we'll break down 10 subtle but unmistakable signs a woman is attracted to you, rooted in psychology and human behavior. These aren't guesses, they're patterns, tested by science and observable in real life. Pay attention, because mastering these will change how you navigate attraction forever. Let's dive into the first sign. She finds excuses to be around you. Imagine you're at work, and a coworker keeps passing by your desk, maybe stopping to ask a quick question or share a random comment. At the gym, she's suddenly working out near your usual spot. At a party, she's always in your orbit, even with a crowd of people around. This isn't just chance, it's the proximity effect in action. A well-documented psychological principle. Studies, like those by Robert Zajonc, show that the more often we're exposed to someone, the more we tend to like them. It's why co-workers, classmates, or neighbors often form bonds over time. Women instinctively use this to their advantage. If she's into you, she'll make sure she's in your space, not because she's stalking you, but because proximity builds connection. The key isn't just that she's nearby, it's how she behaves when she's there. Does she linger after a conversation, finding reasons to keep talking? If you move to another part of the room, does she subtly follow a few minutes later? When you leave, does her energy shift, like she's less engaged with what's around her? These are subconscious moves, often ones she's not fully aware of. For example, picture a coffee shop you frequent. She happens to show up at the same time, striking up a casual chat. Once or twice might be a coincidence, but if it's a pattern, it's intentional. And if she pairs this with sustained eye contact, holding your gaze a second longer, then feels casual, that's your green light. A woman doesn't keep putting herself in your orbit unless she's drawn to you. Once you start noticing this, you'll see it in every social setting, from the office to the bar. The second sign is her body language, which speaks louder than words ever could. You can fake a smile or rehearse a line, but the body doesn't lie. Psychologists estimate that over 80% of communication is nonverbal. And when a woman is attracted to you, her movements tell the story. Here's what to watch for. First, check her feet. It sounds odd, but people unconsciously point their bodies toward what they want. In a group setting, if her feet are angled toward you, she's engaged. If they're pointed toward the door, she's mentally halfway out. This is a subconscious tell, making it one of the most reliable indicators of interest. Next, notice if she leans in when you speak. Imagine you're sharing a story at a party. Everyone's listening, but she's the one inching closer, hanging on your words. Leaning in is a primal bonding mechanism, signaling interest and comfort. It's her body saying, "I want to be near you." Contrast this with someone leaning back or crossing their arms. Distance means disinterest, while proximity screams attraction. Finally, watch for mirroring, a fascinating behavior where she subtly copies your movements. You sip your drink, and she does too. You lean back, and she follows. Mirroring is a biological tool for building rapport, rooted in our need to sync with those we like. To test it, try this during a conversation. Subtly shift your posture, cross your arms, or tilt your head. If she mirrors you within 30 seconds, her body is confirming what her words might not. These cues, feet, leaning, mirroring, are like a secret code. Learn to read them, and you'll never misjudge her interest again. The third sign is when she starts asking personal questions. A woman who's into you doesn't stick to small talk about the weather or weekend plans. She digs deeper, probing into your life with questions like, "Are you seeing anyone?" Or "What kind of women do you like?" These aren't casual, they're her way of gauging her chances. She might ask, "What do you do when you're not working?" Because she's picturing herself in that part of your life. The real giveaway. She remembers the details. You mention your favorite coffee shop, and a week later, she brings you a latte from there. You talk about a band you love, and she references them in a later conversation. This is selective memory bias, a psychological phenomenon where we retain details about people we care about. If she's recalling the little things you say, you're not just on her mind, you are taking up real estate there. These questions and memories show she's invested. For instance, imagine a co-worker who asks about your weekend hiking trip. A week later, she follows up. "How was that trail you mentioned?" That's not polite chit-chat. It's a sign she's been thinking about you. Women don't waste energy on guys they're indifferent to. If she's asking personal questions and storing your answers, she's building a connection, hoping you'll notice. Pay attention to the depth of her curiosity. It's a window into her feelings. The fourth sign is subtle jealousy, often poorly disguised. A woman who likes you won't usually admit she's jealous, that's too direct. Instead, her feelings slip out in small, telling ways. Mention another woman, and her mood shifts, maybe just for a second. Her smile tightens, or she changes the subject. If you're chatting with a female friend at a party, she might suddenly join the conversation, inserting herself into the moment. Or she teases you about other women with a playful but sharp edge like, "Oh, you must be popular with the ladies." These are probes, testing your reaction while revealing her stake in you. Psychologically, jealousy is a powerful indicator of attraction. If she doesn't care about you, she won't blink at who you're talking to. But if she reacts, even subtly, it's because she sees you as hers, at least in her mind. For example, picture a group hangout where you're laughing with another woman. If she's into you, she might hover nearby, suddenly more talkative or attentive. It's not about possessiveness, it's about her wanting to protect the connection she feels. Spotting these moments gives you a clear signal to lean in and show your interest, because she's already showing hers. The fifth sign is when she plays with her appearance around you. Women are hyper-aware of how they look when they're near someone they like, and they use this to their advantage. If she's into you, she'll make sure she's on point when you're around. Watch for these clues. She fixes her hair mid-conversation, a subconscious preening behavior to catch your eye. She applies lip gloss or checks her makeup, drawing attention to her features. She adjusts her outfit, smoothing her dress or straightening her shirt to present her best self. These aren't random, they're rooted in evolutionary psychology. Studies, like those by David Buss, show that women enhance their femininity when attracted to someone, signaling availability through posture, grooming, or style. A real-world example, you're at a bar, and she knows you'll be there. She shows up in a carefully chosen outfit, hair done, looking effortlessly polished. If she's fussing with her appearance when you're near, it's because you're on her radar. The biggest tell? If she goes out of her way to look good specifically when you're around, like dressing up for a casual group event where you'll be, she's sending a message. You're not just another guy, you're someone she wants to impress. The sixth sign is her subtle efforts to impress you. When a woman likes you, she doesn't just blend into the background, she tries to stand out. This isn't about grand gestures. It's the little things that reveal her interest. She might casually mention a big project she nailed at work, a skill she's mastered, or a personal milestone, like running a half marathon. These aren't brags, they're her way of signaling, "I'm valuable, capable, and worth your attention." Evolutionary psychology backs this. Both men and women highlight their strengths when attracted, competing subtly to prove their worth. Notice how she does this. If she's into fitness, she might mention her latest gym routine, watching for your reaction. If she's career-driven, she'll drop a line about a recent promotion, hoping you're impressed. The key is her focus on you. She's not broadcasting these wins to everyone, just you. For instance, imagine you're chatting with a friend who mentions she just aced a tough presentation. If she's looking at you when she says it, gauging your response, that's not random, she's trying to catch your interest. When a woman goes out of her way to showcase her best self, it's a clear sign she sees you as someone special. The The seventh sign is playful teasing, a flirting style that's often mistaken for friendliness. A woman who's into you won't always be sweet and polite. She'll mess with you, but in a way that feels different. She might mock your questionable music taste with a grin, poke fun at your sneakers while stealing glances, or call you a troublemaker while sticking by your side. This push-pull dynamic, known as playful antagonism in psychology, creates tension that's exciting and unpredictable. It's her way of engaging you without being too forward, keeping the interaction light but charged. The real clue is her reaction when you tease back. If she laughs, leans in, or escalates the banter, she's not just playing, she's flirting. For example, at a party, she might say, "Nice shirt, did you borrow it from your dad?" with a smirk. If you fire back, says the one wearing neon like it's 1985, and she giggles or keeps the vibe going, that's chemistry. Compare this to someone who gets defensive or shuts down. Teasing only works when there's mutual interest. When she teases you, she's testing the waters, hoping you'll play along. Lean into it, and you'll turn that spark into a flame. The eighth sign is accidental on purpose touches. Words can be calculated, but touch is raw and honest. Women don't touch men they're not comfortable with, so if she's finding ways to make contact, it's deliberate, no matter how subtle. She might brush your arm when she laughs, fix a stray thread on your shirt, or let her fingers linger when handing you a drink. These moments aren't accidental, her testing physical closeness, gauging how it feels to connect with you. Science supports this. Even brief skin-to-skin contact triggers oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which is why these touches feel electric. Studies by Nicholas Geoghegan show that light, intentional touch increases attraction and comfort. The biggest test is her reaction to your touch. If you mirror her, say, touching her arm lightly during a laugh, and she doesn't pull away, that's a green light. For instance, imagine you're joking around, and she taps your shoulder. If you tap hers back, and she smiles or stays close, she's signaling openness. These small moments are her body saying what her words might not. She's into you, and waiting for you to reciprocate. The ninth sign is her finding reasons to stay in touch. Most guys assume a woman who likes them will just text first, but it's rarely that straightforward. Instead, she'll create excuses to keep the conversation alive without seeming too obvious. She might ask a random question she could easily Google, like, "Know any good restaurants nearby?" She sends you a meme with a note, "This made me think of you." Or she follows up on a minor detail, like, "That movie you mentioned, Eddie just watched it." These aren't practical messages, they're her way of keeping you in her orbit. The pattern is clear. She's not texting for information, she's texting to connect. The biggest tell is her persistence. If you go quiet for a day, does she find a way to restart the chat, maybe with a casual, "Hey, how's your week going?" That's not random, she's choosing to keep the thread alive, because even a small interaction with you matters more than silence. For example, a classmate might text about a group project but slip in a personal question, like, "So what do you do for fun?" She's not just being friendly, she's building a bridge to you. Notice these efforts, because they show you're on her mind. The 10th and most powerful sign is when she opens up about her life and asks about yours. Attraction isn't just about surface-level sparks, it's about emotional connection. When a woman is truly into you, she won't keep things light. She'll share her world, her dreams, fears, and ambitions, her past, good and bad, the struggles she hides behind a strong exterior. This vulnerability is her way of saying, "I trust you with the real me." And it's not one side. She'll ask deep questions about you, like, "What's something you've never told anyone?" Or "What's your biggest dream?" She's not just making conversation, she's trying to understand you, to see if your hearts align. This mutual openness is the hallmark of true attraction. For instance, imagine a co-worker who, over coffee, shares a story about a tough childhood moment. If she then asks, "What's something that shaped who you are?" she's not just curious, she's building a bond. Women don't share their inner worlds with just anyone, and they don't ask soul-searching questions unless they care. When she lets you in and invites you to do the same, she's already decided you're someone special. This is your cue to engage, to show her you're ready for a deeper connection. These 10 signs: proximity, body language, personal questions, jealousy, appearance adjustments, impressing efforts, teasing, touches, staying in touch, and emotional openness are your roadmap to decoding attraction. They're not loud declarations, but quiet invitations, rooted in psychology and human nature. The mistake most men make is waiting for words, but women show their feelings through actions. Once you learn to see these signals, you'll stop second-guessing and start seizing opportunities. So, how do you put this into practice? Start observing. Next time you're in a social setting, watch for these cues. Is she lingering near you? Leaning in when you talk? Asking about your life? Don't just notice the waters. If she's mirroring your movements, smile and see if she mirrors that too. If she teases you, tease back lightly and watch her reaction. If she's texting you random updates, keep the conversation going and see if she deepens it. These small experiments build your confidence and confirm her interest. To sharpen your skills, reflect on past interactions. Have you seen these signs before but missed them? Maybe a co-worker who always found excuses to chat, or a friend who got quiet when you mentioned another woman. Journaling can help write down moments that felt like signals and analyze them. Were her feet pointed toward you? Did she remember a detail you forgot you shared? Over time, you'll develop a sixth sense for these cues, spotting them in real time. It's also worth diving into the science. Read books like The Definitive Book of Body Language by Alan and Barbara Pease for a crash course in nonverbal communication. Watch TED Talks on attraction, like those by Amy Cuddy, to understand how body language shapes perception. Pay attention to your own signals too. Are you approachable, open, and engaged? A warm smile and relaxed posture make it easier for her to show interest. Surround yourself with friends who are socially savvy. Their insights can help you refine your radar. The journey isn't always easy. You might misread a sign, overthink a moment, or hesitate to act. That's okay. Learning to read attraction is a skill, and skills take practice. The key is to stay curious, not desperate. Don't chase her approval. Focus on understanding her signals and responding authentically. If she's showing these signs, she's already opened the door. Your job is to walk through it with confidence. Ultimately, this isn't just about catching her interest, it's about building connections that matter. These signs aren't tricks to win at dating, they're clues to mutual attraction, the kind that leads to real relationships. When you spot them, you're not just seeing her feelings, you're seeing an opportunity to create something meaningful. So, keep your eyes open, trust your instincts, and don't wait for her to say the words. The signals are there, and now you know how to read them. The next move is yours. If this message resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that will help you create the life you truly deserve. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.